Madam, we were just going to play a short video for our viewers to know how the platform works.
Okay.
And Kishan sir is here. Kishan Muralidhar is our senior director for business development. Kishan, looks like you're on 2 devices. I would thank all our audience who are here this Saturday to be part of this webinar. Thank you so much for coming onto the Skoolz webinar. This is an exclusive where you're going to learn how play can be a learning in the fun way, so the child learns everything it needs to without knowing that the child is learning. So we have our expert speaker today with us, Kirti Parnami. Madam has been in the industry of education for the 20 years and extensively working. And her mantra is, there are infinite possibilities, children are capable of it, and fun or learn is what she excels at. And Madam for this has been awarded Teacher Award for Innovative Teaching by Times Foundation, and many more accolades and awards have been awarded to the Madam, and Keykidz especially. Ma'am, we are so very delighted to have you here. Welcome, a very hearty welcome to you.
Thank you so much, Swapna. It is my pleasure to be here today and being associated to share my learning with young children on the topic which is very dear to me and very close to my heart. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Kishan Muralidhar with us, and he is our Senior Director for Business Development, a force that is keeping our schools moving in the right direction. So thank you, Kishan, for being with us.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our platform, Skoolz. So, let me, if people have now our audience and everybody were seeing a small video, I would just like to take you once through the portal so that they can see, and if they have any questions later on. This is our website. And here, as you see, we have 1,500 preschools plus boarded on it. And we also have 150 K-12 schools, and we have hobby classes. They are being onboarded, and we will be in full-fledged service from the 14th of February. So we have made it very easy for parents to find their preferred schools by category, and also about other classifications too, like preschool, day school, online boarding. Those things they're all just a click away. Trending is a new feature that we have added. So these are all the trending schools you will find here. And there's the ease of movement for finding schools that are closest to you are also there. Just have to hit a button near me, and you will see those pop up. Yeah, these are near me. I stay close to Malleshwaram. So Rajaji Nagar, Malleshwaram schools are visible. Registration for that is easy, just a click away, and all our events and webinars that we hold, they are all here. So many of from NEP to nutrition to health and emotional wellness and playway today, they are all there. Visitors, please do, parents, go take a look in that. There is a wealth of information there. And we also have lots of blogs written by industry experts, extensively written about boards and benefits. How can you help your child learn better, how to face exams? All of them are there. Please do explore it. And our awards and recognitions are also here. So you can definitely take a look into it. And we, this is a search option where you can just type a area. Like for example, right now, okay, I'm just picking K Narayanpura for today, but feel free to pick your locality, and every school that has been onboarded with us will come on. In this area, we have 168 schools listed here, like Kabira, for example, Hello Olivia, and Little Ellie, Hennur, Clay Prep, L. One of the features that every parent who comes to our platform enjoys is the compare option. So let me just show you how that does. You can compare 3 schools at a time. So I have picked a little pathway, and I will go ahead and pick our Hello Olivia. And one more school, let's pick Kabira. When you pick these schools, and you just have to hit compare. So you will get all the information you need at a click. So there's a very comprehensively, and right there in a single page for you, the examination board, annual fees, school classification, transportation facilities, strength, and all the extracurricular facilities and the classes that they provide, they are also listed here. So this makes it very easy for a parent to pick the right school for their child. So this was one feature. And another thing that I would like to show you is we can go here and pick a single school. Like I've just picked Kabira, for example, here. But, you pick your preferred school out of the 3, and when you come there, you'll see that everything a little extensive information, like the key differentiators about the school, the photos. You can take a virtual tour of all of this, and you can book an appointment. You can either request for a virtual meet, a telephonic call, and that will be there. And here is one where immediately you can talk to us, WhatsApp, that's all there. So a lot of information, and we have really made it very easy for parents to find schools. And our YouTube page is also filled with information, and lots of all our previous webinars and lots of other talks are also here. So please do go explore those also. It would be helpful for you too. So here we are. That was a brief about our schools, and Kirti madam has been very patiently seeing our portal, and here, ma'am, thank you so much for that. And we absolutely want to know how playing can be learning for our children. So, madam, it's to you.
Thank you so much, Swapna. It's my pleasure to connect on this platform with the parents. And the topic is the most effective topic of learning at the young age group. And what a better day for all of us to learn about it than the Basant Panchami or the Saraswati Puja day. So it's like a very auspicious day to learn about a very, very effective tool for learning. And not only at any age, but yes, when the foundations of learning are getting laid at that young age, where what we call the 0 to 7 years or 8 years, that is the age when our brain is at the most active stage, and how we can make learning effective as teachers, as parents, and how to identify whether the school you are choosing, whether the school your child is going to, what is the way the school is engaging children is, or the dominating approach the school is taking for the learning of children at that particular age. And today we will be doing the playway. We will be starting, and I will just share start, and I am sure all the audience, all the viewers are ready to play, because play is the only natural way of learning. So let's begin the game. Be ready to play. Before we dive deep into what is the playway approach, let me touch upon briefly about the other major approaches to the early learning. On this same platform, what I understand, we have already covered the Montessori approach in detail, but for the benefit of the parents or the teachers who have missed that session, I will just quickly touch upon the basic difference in the different approaches. Now, when we talk of the early learning approaches, there are multiple approaches which have been put forth by the pioneers in the early childhood education. The key thing which binds all the different approaches is all of them focus on the child as a whole. Whether we talk of Montessori, whether we talk of the Waldorf approach or Reggio Emilia approach or the playway approach, which we will be dealing in detail today, all have one thing in common, that they all talk about keeping the child in the center, revolving everything we do around that child. But still, there is some difference between how that focus we bring in the approach to learning. See, when we go for the Montessori approach, it is more of the material intensive approach. The preschools which are pure Montessori or which are Montessori dominated learning methodology which they follow, they will have more of a material extensive classrooms where the materials will be more and they are specific. So if you see here, a child engaged in a Montessori material, the activities the child is doing, it is the more to bring the focus and coordination of the child. So a lot of Montessori material will be available in the classroom. And the difference is, one, in a Montessori classroom, the age groups are mixed. So it works on peer learning, younger children learning from the elder age group children and the elders doing that peer learning. So they learn together. So there is no age demarcation strict in a Montessori classroom. Also, there is a specific way each material is designed to be used. Every material will have a particular way a part of it will fit in it. So again, to reduce the chances of error for the child, that a child knows a particular piece will fit in a particular fashion only. So that is how it is. So it is like taking play as work. So it is more, I would say, as work intensive approach. So that is the Montessori method, what we learn. Another known and famous is the Waldorf approach, which again, the Waldorf schools, how they do is they rely more on the 3 H's: head, heart, and hand. So they engage the children by thinking or enhancing their imagination or creativity, hands-on activities to put that imagination to use, and the heart, what they feel about it, what they want to do. So that freedom, that activity-oriented approach is more in the Waldorf education or the system. Another is, which we hear a lot, is the multiple intelligence approach, which we say that, okay, a particular preschool follows a multiple intelligence, and we have the 8 multiple intelligences on which our activities are designed or the classroom activities are done. Now, again, the activities are oriented or set around your visual learning, the children who learn more by seeing. So the images will be more, the linguistic or verbal development. For some children, they learn by talking or they learn by listening more. So the linguistic or verbal approach, then the social or interpersonal, intrapersonal, that the child wants to learn being on his or her own. Then the logical or mathematical approach, musical approach. So the schools will focus on the intelligences, what the Howard Gardner had put forth the theory. So that is the multiple intelligence approach if a school takes that dominantly. Another is the Reggio Emilia approach. Now again, this approach, because it was developed after the World War II, and the basic aim behind this approach was to encourage use of alternate ways of expression, that only talking or listening should not be the mode of expressing or communication. So it focuses more on the alternate ways of expression for children, like music, like symbols, like drama. So all those things are more when a school or a preschool is following the Reggio Emilia approach. So these are the basic approaches which we say when a school is particularly a particular type or approach is dominating there. But if we see ideally, most of the schools will take the good factors and the core of all the approaches. And when we say it is Montessori or Waldorf or multiple intelligence or any other approach, it is not that play is left out, because even these pioneers had said, like Maria Montessori, I told, it is work dominated. Play is the work of the child. That is how the whole Montessori system or the play equipments are, materials are there. So almost all creativity involves purposeful play. The Maslow's statement is, again, play is our brain's favorite way of learning. Play gives children a chance to practice what they are learning. So all these are from the pioneers who would have put forth the alternate approach as a dominating approach. But again, play is a center of all the approaches. Why? Because play is a universal language of children. Any part of the world, any part of the globe, any economic strata the child is from, what is common in all is play. They understand one language, they connect with each other. They might not know the language what the other child is talking, but through play, they connect at that core and that basic level. So play is a universal language of all children, and that is why playway method is the most natural method of bringing learning in the children. Now this, basically the playway idea, if we say the idea as such, was put forth or pioneered by Henry Caldwell Cook in his book when he wrote that doing was a better learning method than reading and listening, and that youth study through play. So when he mentioned that in the book, that is how we formalized the idea of playway in detail. So when we call the playway approach, the credit to formalize it or to pioneer it goes to Henry Caldwell Cook. And what's the belief beside this? When any preschool, any school, any home follows the playway method of learning, the belief behind that is, if you create an environment, if you provide the opportunity, children have the ability to learn by themselves. So what is required is to provide that environment, to create that environment, to give that opportunity, and that inbuilt capability in the child will come out and the children will be able to learn with that environment. So this is the core belief in the playway approach when it is applied or it is used. Now, how do you know a preschool is a playway approach dominated school, or the teacher in the classroom of your child is following a playway approach? See, there are some core features, some basic features when as an educator, as a teacher, as a parent, you are taking up a playway approach to enhance the learning of the children. Number one, it is the activity-based or hands-on experience has to be given to the child, because there is no play if the child is not involved. There is no play if the child is not active. So the first important is the activity-based or hands-on experiences given to the child. And when we say activity-based or hands-on experience, we will see further also, it doesn't mean that the child has to be given some complicated project to do and the child should always be engaged in making some model. It can be as easy as drawing. It can be as easy and any simple art activity, or as basic as tearing a paper. So that itself is a play. So learning more by doing and practice. So children learn more by doing the things, by practicing what they have learned. And that is another feature of playway approach. Oral instructions are not a main mode. The other alternate ways of doing, of showing, of working together with children, encouraging children to explore, those are the main means. Oral instructions are not the main methods. More freedom is allowed in the classrooms. Now, when we say freedom, this is very, very difficult for us as teachers, as parents to give to the child. And this is the core which is required for the playway approach, that freedom, because play means being free to do. So more freedom allowed in a classroom is an indication that yes, we are following a playway approach. More freedom of expression is encouraged. You keep the patience to listen to the child. You allow them to talk. You allow them to express what they want. That is the freedom of expression needs to be encouraged in the playway approach. Again, when I'm telling these features, these don't limit to the classroom setting. It is in the house also. When you are as parents handling children and you want them to learn through playway, more freedom of expression, more freedom to do has to be encouraged. More flexibility based on children's interest and moods. Don't keep pushing to do what you have planned. Be flexible enough to change as per the children's interest and mood. And at the young age, it will change every minute or every few minutes. So be ready for that. Now, other features are the themes and topics are activity integrated. So you have to have the activity planned around the various themes and topics which you do, and you have to integrate them in the themes. The material and aids are open-ended, which can be explored by children as per their creativity. So it cannot be a one-way approach. It has to be, child has to decide how the child wants to use that material. So allow that freedom and provide the material which gives that opportunity to the children. More material from child's environment and surrounding is made available. Always, whatever is easily available at home, whatever a child sees all around herself or himself, that is the material which the child would be more curious and more free to play with. So provide those materials to children. Now, set the material in different learning areas with options to choose available in each. Now, if you have the material to enhance the language skills, so you have to have options available for the child in that particular area with those kind of material. If it is for the eye-hand coordination, again, the options have to be available, because the most important thing I mentioned is freedom. The choice, the child is free to choose. You don't put in a tray one material and tell a child, play with this. Let the child decide what the child wants to choose and play with. And assessment is a continuous process. There is no end exam. There is the learning and enhancing the child's capabilities by changing the material, by changing the environment to add challenge there. The child has reached stage 1. Now the environment should be planned in such a way that the child is challenged to go to stage 2. So that is how the assessment has to be a continuous process and the environment has to be continuous. Now, what focus we have to keep when we plan all these, the play-based environment, or we are setting up the arrangement or the opportunity for the child? It has to be from the strong and healthy development of the child. And it should allow the child to interact, speak up and ask questions. It will develop movement and coordination. When I'm telling different areas for different skills, it will give the option for child to keep moving around. So it offers that opportunity, have freedom to choose, explore and experience for themselves. That yes, I don't like this particular material. I have the freedom now, I can try the other material. So that is the experience they need to have and we need to provide. Activities that allow engagement and enjoyment. Now, again, simple example of tearing a paper. If you give a child can sit for endless time tearing it into bits. So it is any activity which keeps the child engaged. That is the focus which we have to keep in mind. Now, what are the benefits when we are doing all this, when we are setting this, why we have to take the playway approach and what are the benefits for this? See, the first most important benefit I told is learning is natural, because playing is natural. It is a universal natural language. Not only children, we also know. So the fun what we get when we play or when we let things loose, that is the natural thing. And when you allow the child to learn that way, it is a natural learning environment you are giving to a child. You make learning fun. And when learning is fun, there is no stress and pressure for the child in that. Learning is more voluntary. You reduce your effort. Yes, you put that initial effort to plan it, but then you reduce all the trailing efforts of disciplining, of struggling in the child with the child to get the work done. Learning becomes more voluntary. You give more autonomy and control to the child, and you inculcate in the child how to use that autonomy and where to draw the line and control. So that is another skill you bring out in the child. Children are heard, and so they grow confident that yes, I have a say. What I say matters. What I say is heard. So they get that to speak more. Loving, healthy relationship between the child and the teacher, that we all teachers want. That our children should look upon us, should connect with us, and this is a very big way to bring that. It lays a strong foundation for learning. Whatever is taught, it stays forever there because it is done voluntarily, it is done with fun, and it is natural. So it stays with the child always. So these are the major big benefits when we take the playway approach. Now, there are again some limitations, like all the approaches, there will be some or the other limitation. If it has some benefits, there are some limitations that it works better for the younger children. As the children go to the higher standards, they need to move away, or the playway approach need to get less and less because there are various reasons. One is all the content or concept as they move to higher standards cannot be taught efficiently through play. So there are some things which can only be told verbally or by giving instructions or by just repeating, practicing and doing. So that is one limitation which it has. Also, sometimes for some children, learning can become secondary to playing. So they just take play as play, and what learning you are trying to hide or create through that, that can get sidelined. So they might not play or engage to that extent with that particular activity for the learning to get permanent or to find a base. They might too soon just take it as a play and go to the other activity. So these are few limitations which we need to continuously work on and see that how to do or change or improve upon it in the particular situation with a particular child or a particular classroom. So this is there. And now, what is play? See, when we say playway, yes, but what actually is play? Play is any activity which brings fun or enjoyment. So it could be as simple as, if you can see in the image, the child jumping in the mud. So that is brings fun. So the child is learning that. So that is play. Whatever brings fun or enjoyment is play. And as I already told, there could be different levels of play. Now it could go from simple to complicated, where it is just tearing a paper, to building a castle out of the sheets or out of blocks, that level. So it is simple to complicated, the levels can vary. And there could be different types of play. Whether you see your child engaged in any of this, or as teacher you see in the classroom, the children engaged in different ways. All these are different types of play. See, a child could be playing alone with the toys. We call it a solitary play. The child is sitting and playing, is not bothered about the chaos around, is not bothered about what is going around, but it's still playing. We don't call it the child is lost. It is the child is engaged and is playing. Another could be a child just sitting and observing, the onlooker play. The child might be giving all the expressions. Child might be smiling, child might be laughing, seeing the friends playing, but is not going and doing. We see that a lot when you take your child out in the play area or in the park in your apartments. You might be seeing all of these at different stages. So when a child is just standing at the side and seeing others playing and enjoying, that is an onlooker play. Still, it is a play. There could be a child just doing stargazing or looking at the tree or sitting unoccupied doing nothing, is not looking at others, not worried or bothered about what others are playing or doing, is occupied into herself or himself. That is again another play. Again, there is a parallel play where the children are sitting next to each other without being bothered or worried about what the other partner sitting next to the child is doing. They are so engaged, they will be telling their own stories, they will be repeating the words, and they will be doing their own games. That is the parallel play. Again, there is associative play, where they are sharing the material, the objects or the materials or the toys. The children might be sharing, but they are not talking to each other. They are not interacting to each other. They are not worried about what the other child is doing. They just there are sitting together, and the first stage towards cooperative play starts developing here. Because once they are able to do this, they move to the next stage where they play in teams. They play, they talk, they cooperate, they learn to take turns, they develop the other complex life skills. So that is the level they move to when they go to the cooperative play. Now, whatever type of play, see, we saw all these. Now, any type or any kind of play the child is engaged in, all the types will have these features. The child will be active. Now, whether it is physically or mentally, even the child who is sitting at the window is active, maybe with mind. The child might be having the imagination, might be thinking something, might be creating the stories, looking outside. So the important feature is activeness. So physically or mentally, the child is active and the child is involved. So the child is involved with the material, or the child is involved with self, or the child is involved with the friend, but the child is involved. So don't disturb. Let the child be involved. Don't try to pull them out of the stage or the type they are in at that particular time. Give them the independence to choose and then change. They want to be in the onlooker stage for some time, then they want to maybe move to the cooperative or associative stage. Allow that independence to choose and change. They are playing with one material, they want to change, allow that independence. That is another feature of play. Now, what they are doing while they are playing, whether it is sitting alone, whether they are onlooking, they are processing or they are assigning meaning to what all experiences till then they have got in life. So they might be giving, comprehending, giving meaning, assigning, perceiving the what they have gone through, what they have experienced. So that is what during play that is happening. Now, it might be visible when they are making something, when they are playing in the cooperative stage. It might not be obviously visible when they are in the onlooker stage or they are unoccupied and they are just processing or thinking. So that, but the feature is they are definitely assigning meanings to their experience. Another is the fun and it is purposeful. It is relaxing, it is therapeutic. Don't just bring that out of them. Let them be in that stage, let them have that fun, let them be that stress-free movement be for them. So that is the feature of any stage of play, the child will be there. Now, what is the significance? Why we have to allow the child to play? See, the goal is healthy development. We want children to develop healthy, we want the all-round development of the child. So we need to allow them to play. And it will not come minus all these. All these will definitely tag along. Academic skills, whether it is the language skills, whether it is the numeracy, whether it is the communication skills, they will definitely develop when the child is playing. Their motor skills, whether you call fine motor, gross motor, eye-hand coordination, balancing, everything when they are engaged in play, that automatically comes with that. The social skills. The social skills, again, how to cooperate, how to communicate, how to handle the conflict. So if they are playing, these are the essential skills they will learn. How to share, how to handle. If someone is reacting, how to react. If someone is doing something, how you react. All these are the skills they learn. So these are the basic life skills that they learn when they are engaged in the play. And most of all, knowing self. At We know they are young, but this is the stage they also start perceiving, they knowing about self. I don't like this. I like this. I don't want to play with this. I want to play with this. I am not good at this. I am good at this. So that is the self-realization first stage that they start learning about themselves when they are engaged in play. So this is the significance that allowing the child to play brings along. And what is our role as adults, as parents, as teachers? What is our role? First is plan the environment. That is a very important part, or the very important job or role we have as adults, that we have to plan the environment. And when we say plan the environment, it means it should be safe. It should be creative. As I already told, it should have material which a child sees around, which a child is known to. That material has to be there. And keep changing the environment as the capability of the child changes. So when they are at stage 1, put the challenging material, create the environment to take them to stage 2. That is the role of an adult. Support, not lead. Don't tell a child, come, I will show you how to play. Be there, ask child to show you how to play. Okay, these are the materials. Okay, what we should do with it? Ask a child to lead. Don't take the lead. See, many times I have seen as teachers, or now because online 2 years it is going, I see parents so engrossed in the activities, enjoying the activities, that the child takes the side and the parent is only doing. So don't take that role. Please support the child, not lead. Let the child lead and follow the child. Extend and add on. If a child is doing, I am making a castle. Okay, so what all will come on the castle? So extend and add on. Give a chance to the child to think, okay, now what? Don't say, okay, shall we add a door to the castle? Child will definitely say yes. So don't give options. Maybe child will not think about a gate. Child might think of a rocket. I will put a rocket on the castle. So let the child add on, let the child extend. You just ask a child to take it forward. Talk to listen, not to tell. See, we always talk to the child, okay, what are you playing? Okay, so you are playing with a doll. So you are playing with a mango. What you have made? You have made a castle. No, listen to the child. Ask a child what you have done. What is this? And observe how the child has done it. Because when you are observing, you will understand the experience, what the child is trying to the show, or the child is trying to put forth, and that how that experience the child has perceived. So if you're going to talk to listen, if you're going to observe the child, it is a learning for you as a teacher, as a parent, to know what is child going through, what has the particular experience, what impact that has done on the child, which a child is trying to show through the play. So that is very, very important. That is the purpose of play. And validate the efforts. Tell, very good, you have done nice. I saw how nicely you made the castle. Don't say, no, it doesn't look like a castle, let's do it again. Validate the effort which a child has done and encourage. Some children will have that inertia to come and talk or start a play, or might be stuck at an onlooker or the unoccupied stage for long. Just offer little help just to initiate. Don't jump or pick the child to forcefully put there. Help to initiate, but don't lead or force yourself upon. Now, there are some rules of the game. For us, you have to give time and freedom, but you don't have to play the game. And don't act as a reporter. See what a reporter does. The reporter will narrate A to Z what all, how the game went or what the child did to the child, and then we do to the other teachers or partners. See, if the child is playing, and how we do is, okay, so you have made a castle, you have put this. No, allow the child to explain what a child has done. Maybe it is looking a castle to you, but the child has made something else. So that castle itself might be in child's eye, maybe a rocket. So you have to accept that. So don't just keep telling that. And also at home as parent, when we are seeing a child playing, when they are expressing their experiences in front of the child, or where the child might be hearing, don't repeat or tell that how the game was going on or playing to your partner or to your friends or to your co-teacher, because the child is listening. And if the child, that time the child would have been free, the child would have been freely expressing what the child has perceived. But when the child listens to that being told to someone, that will bring that consciousness to the child, that even when I am playing, I have to be careful, because my teacher or my parent is perceiving my game like this. So we have to be very, very careful with this particular aspect, because we want the play to be purposeful. We want the play to be a learning mode. So we have to be very careful with our role here, that we don't have to just keep reporting the child's play, where a child is hearing or is in presence that, yes, this is how my child play is being taken up. So we have to be careful for this rule. Now, the basic ingredients, what you need is time and time. Lots of time you need to give when you want children to learn through play, and you have to have patience, because you don't need to play, you have to play with the child. So you have to have that patience, you have to give the freedom and the flexibility to change. It could be days when you would have planned something, and when you start that, it might be all 360 degrees gone. So you have to just be ready for that spin, that yes, it is the flexibility, because we have to go with the child. And the recipe for purposeful play: take lots of time, add freedom for the child, mix your patience, and still little laziness. Laziness in sit back, allow the child to play. Don't keep jumping to mix the ingredients what child has for the game. Plus, don't keep jumping to correct it. Because many times it is like, no, this is yellow. Child is saying, no, it is holding yellow. The child will be saying, I am taking a green candy. No, this is yellow banana. Child is visualizing as yellow banana is green candy, but we will be correcting the child again and again. The purpose of play is not that. Purpose of play is to listen what a child has in mind when the child is calling a yellow banana a green candy. We have to allow that time and patience for the child. Allow acceptance, that what the child is telling, what the child has experienced, what the child is planning in a game, you have to accept, because that is child's play. It is not your play. So that is all will lead to a purposeful play. Then only the true learning, what we call through play, we can get with children. And the ultimate goal is life skills. The play, the purposes: social, emotional, perceptual, cognitive, expression, creative, whatever skills we want to develop. The goal ultimate for the play is developing life skills. And these are the very basic things which we, if as adults, are going to focus on. Definitely we will allow the child to achieve what is the purpose behind the play. And these are the some pictures the children engaged in different play, which we already discussed. You can see a child so engrossed in a solitary play and onlooker play and parallel play. See, on a small mat, all the children are engaged in fun, but no one is bothered about the other child. So it is like they are playing next to each other, enjoying their hearts out, but without caring for what the other partner on the side is doing. Then we have associated play where with the same material, they are doing their own different things and leading to the cooperative play. So this is how the play stages or the different types of play you will see in the classrooms or at home. And again, in the same play area, how the different children will be engaged in different types of play. The onlooker, the cooperative, associative, all types of play in your small classroom at your small home, you will be able to see with children. And different ways the fun can be brought in the class. The simple play way to bring the numbers, to bring the letters, and you can see the fun visible on children's faces. So it is very much there, the learning, the fun, what the children will have with play way. And now I leave it for the audience, for our parents, teachers, whoever has joined us, for any questions, any doubts on how to take play further.
Visitors, please do type in your questions. Madam will pick each and every one and they will be answered. Kirti ma'am, we already have 3 questions here. One is how much time should be dedicated for play and how much time should be dedicated for learning?
See, if you make play purposeful, if the purpose, if you have put in that effort to make play as a learning tool, there is no time limit. So if you have not put that effort to create that environment, then definitely you need to put the play time bound, that this is your play time and this is your work time. Now, again, when I say play, you have to be careful. Playing on the iPad or on the phone is not purposeful play. So then definitely you have to put the time limit. But if it is the activity oriented, what we just discussed, creating that environment, giving that material, thinking what learning you want to child to get and creating a play around that, it can be endless.
Another question we have is how much toys should be bought for a child, so that the child doesn't lose value and the child can appreciate what things.
Again, as I told earlier also in last our interaction also, Swapna, I discussed with you also, now for the parents also. See, you don't have to get lot of fancy toys. That is not the purpose of play and that is not going to bring out the creativity. The child is going to pick play for 2 days, throw the toy, and third day will demand for a new toy. Or you will walk in with a supermarket with a child, the moment the child will see the toy section, will be lying down on the floor, banging the head and crying for a new toy. You need to work with the child, provide simple material which a child sees all around. As I told, newspapers, make balls with newspaper, clothes clips, make a tail with the clothes clips. So you have to sit with the child and encourage and provide that environment to play. Bring the boxes, the cartons, empty cartons. I remember like in our classrooms and even with my children, the empty cartons, like our Keykidz, we are known as collecting all the waste from parents. We will have a lot of egg cartons, we will have a lot of boxes, and the children make all sorts of things with that. The big Amazon boxes bring their spaceships. They will sit inside the spaceships that, okay, I am an astronaut and I am going. So they imagine all that. Caps, bottle caps and all, they will make as wheels and they will roll. So you have to encourage the child to play with those things. So you have to have that play and learning rather than always going for the toy. So definitely, I would not suggest or encourage going for endless toys.
Usha Sasikumar, if you can, you have raised your hand. If you can just type your question, we will pick it up, ma'am. Kirti ma'am, and another question is, how do you play with infants and toddlers?
How you play, that is the most, I will say, the natural age to play with. It's because the infants, how you play is simple. Crawling is a play. And just doing peekaboo behind your hands will excite the infants and toddlers. That becomes a play. It's just when you are taking, as I told, a carton, you take a carton and you push, and you will see a toddler class just going mad. They will be pushing the boxes, and they can do that full day. And already tearing newspapers. You tear the newspaper, you make the ball, you throw, and you tear the newspaper, and then you keep singing and collecting those paper balls. So the whole class or the whole room, if at home you are doing, you can do that with the infants and toddlers. Again, you don't need lot of toys to engage to this age. And at this age is what actually you can put that, the learning or the play purposeful in the child's nature, that it is not that toys which we will just bring from the supermarket and that only can help you play. So playing is purposes there, all-round development, fine motor, gross motor, eye-hand coordination, filling the balls in the socks, or when you're peeling the peas, you are sitting with the toddler, or you are peeling the peas and you are taking it out. All that is what is the play actually for the toddler and infant. So that is very, very easy stage to play, plus very, very important stage to inculcate the future habits.
Definitely. Ms. Vaishnavi, kindly type out your question. We will take it up. How do you encourage a bit elder children to play and learn at the same time?
See, again, here it is, if there is any specific topic that we want a child to learn through play, then we have to put that effort and we have to plan that out. But if it is that we want a child to play, just we have to give them some things like if simple folding, if we say, let's play how you can fold a particular, suppose this paper I have, how you can fold it to the smallest bit possible. Let's see who will do it fast. So that is how engaging a child in one kind of game. Again, another type of game is, okay, you take the newspapers, you make 10 balls with the newspaper. Now I come up with something and make out of those 10 balls, and you create something by pasting or putting those 10 newspaper balls together. That is another way you can engage a bit older child. And if we are talking of even older children like second standards, third standards and all, then we have to think little creative as per the interest of the child. Suppose my child is in second standard or third standard and is too much into like Doraemons or whatever the character favorite is there. And we play the game or create the game around that with the material we have. Because it is endless. At home, what we get is endless. It is only encouraging the child to do that or do that creatively or engage in that particular thing.
Vaishnavi, I hope your question got answered about how to engage slightly elder children to get engaged in play. Ma'am, a lot of working parents and pandemic situation is also there, makes things challenging. So a question is from Ruchika Bhatia is, how does in such a situation a dedicated, purposeful playtime can be achieved?
See, it is again, when it is coming to elder children, the parents are busy. Yes, so the first basic thing which I also told in the ingredients is time and patience. So that is very, very important. And I will suggest here that if suppose you have a time on a weekend or you get time someday, you plan maybe 4 or 5 things you want to work out or do with the child. Now, if your child is interested in outdoor games, so it could be like that a child wants ball games or a child wants to play in the outdoor area. Now, if for that game itself, come up with different materials. You have a bat and ball, fine, but you cannot engage a child with a bat and ball throughout the week. So you have to be little creative here, come up with different materials. You have newspaper balls, take a sock, stuff the newspaper, have a sock ball. Then you take another cap or something, stuff a sponge in that and have a sponge ball. Now you have one bat which already child has. You take one cardboard piece. You make that one day a bat and ball is that. Another day you have a plate. You give a plastic plate for a child to play with the ball. So you have to, as per the child's interest, you have to put that little effort on the weekend. Plan these, keep it ready in your box, and you have to give to the child that, okay, today bat and ball we are not doing, you go and play with that. Now let me see, you hit with a ball and there is a bowl there. How many times the ball goes in that bowl? That is another thing which can be done. So these are like the different simple ways which using the material you need to do. Or you can tell, okay, it is a little older child, you have the newspaper, tear the pictures from the newspaper. Yes, and we are going to make a marching parade of 10 men from the newspaper. So from the paper, one could be Amitabh Bachchan marching there, other could be Modi ji marching in that parade. So the pictures what are there in the newspaper, child will tear it. If it is an elder child, will cut it, and you just give that activity and the child comes up and give the freedom. Can it stand? Think of something how this parade will stand. Then child will only search for some box, will think of, come up with some idea that, okay, my parade will stand like that. So you don't need anything much, no toys. Just give the newspapers and the child is sitting and can do that. So that you have to keep building as per your child's interest and with the time which you can come up with.
Ma'am, parenting in itself is a journey that many find challenging and slightly difficult. So a few other questions about how to make it a fun way with play is, how can, Akila has this question, like how do we encourage our children to do certain things on their own, like eating, cleaning up their own toys?
See, one is if we stop doing, there is no other way. I always tell the parents also, see, now the thing is, the child doesn't even know when a child is hungry. A child doesn't even know what means being thirsty, because everything is time bound. 2 hours, the food will be there. Now half an hour, water bottle will come in the mouth. In the class, 10 times, the water bottle parent will put in the child's mouth. So it is like we are not allowing the child to do. So till the time we will not leave doing, child will not do. Yeah. So it is, we have to take that step little back, and then only the child will do. And initial is when you are inculcating or initiating this habit, you are shifting from doing everything for the child to allow the child to do. You have to allow what child likes. There could be like little things what a child likes. You have to allow that the child eats or does on his or her own. So you have to allow that, and slowly when the child starts doing that, then you start putting that rice or idli or dosa or your chapati, which a child will make faces or fuss to eat, then that can be pushed in front of the child to eat on her or his own. So we have to take that step back first.
Definitely. Akanksha Nigam has a question about how do you inculcate the habit of a child sitting and does their writing? How do you encourage a child to sit and write?
See, again, it can be done in a play way. Again, as I always tell, don't force for 15 minutes, 10 minutes. from the beginning. If there is a challenge that a child is finding to sit and do, first is the place you choose. If you are choosing a place where a child can easily lie down or spread the legs or can toss around, then the first basic thing itself is gone. You are not giving that environment for the child to sit. You give that chair where a child has to sit and work. It could be writing only 2 letters. The child has written A 2 times or has written A and B and wants to get up because that energy is not allowing the child to sit. Allow that. Let the child go, jump around, roll around, again come back in that place. Next time, child will be able to write A, B, C at least. And then again, bring. If you are not giving that environment, if you are giving the situation where child can easily lie down on the bed or has place to just run around, that will be difficult to start inculcating that, yes, I want my child to sit and run. So that is one. Again, make it play way. You also sit. You also write AB. Child is also writing AB. Let's see who writes neatly and who writes fast. Oh, you have been able to write so fast and I am still struggling on A. Make it fun for the child. And that is how the child will be able to sit and write more, because now it is a game between you and the child. It is not that you are forcing, you have to write A to B or A 10 times because ma'am has told to write. So that is how then you will have to change that.
Ma'am, seems like people are, especially Shilpa, Mangla, they are all very appreciative of the presentation and they have absolutely wonderful learning.
Thank you so much.
So many people have written that, they have gained so much of insight about learning and how play can be learning and how easy learning can be made. Any other questions, if there are there, kindly put it in the chat box. So Akanksha Nigam is saying thank you. Any questions, kindly put it forward.
Either if any other question also, anytime the parents or teachers, they have in mind, they want it to be answered, they can either reach out to you on skoolz.in or my number is here on this slide. They can contact me on that number. No need to hesitate. I will be more than happy to help out, learn together if I can be of any help anywhere.
Definitely, as ma'am said, ma'am is also available, and skoolz.in is the place where all your needs for any school is definitely addressed, especially preschool, as we have 1,500 plus preschools for you parents to choose from. Any other questions related to early learning, the playway? If not, I think, ma'am, I think, yeah, they are Shweta Patel again, like they're all very appreciative of the session.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, I think that's all the questions we have right now. So I really thank you from my bottom of my heart. All the parents are like, very appreciative. They have all like gained so much of, and it, you made it very interesting, a pinch of patience and some more creativity. But the main ingredient here seems to be time. Give yourself time to play with your child. Give your child time to play. And definitely add a good dose of creativity.
See, children have time to play. It is only we keep stopping them because we don't want to give that time. We don't go to the child. We ask a child to come to us. We say, come here, do this. We don't go there to see what a child is doing. So that is what is required.
Yes. It is just absolutely wonderful how engaging and how fun it can be with children. So I'm sure all the parents here have learned that, and I thank all our participants who've been here and listening to this wonderful session and gaining insight. Thank you so much for being with us, giving your time on a weekend, and as ma'am said, Vasant Panchami, a very auspicious day. Please do visit our Skoolz page. You will find many more upcoming events and webinars there listed out. And we look forward to seeing your active participation more and more with Skoolz. Ma'am, thank you so much. Very heartfelt thank you. Has been a wonderful session of play where I especially learned like the freedom and the creativity, and given the time and the right environment, how much beneficial a play can be. How structured and how purposeful that can be. Thank you so much, madam. Seriously appreciate your time and effort putting in. Thank you from me.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much to all audience, to all parents for joining today. It had been a pleasure. You can anytime reach out through any of the numbers or our media. Thank you so much. Thank you, Swapna.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, all the audience. We look forward to you the next at our next event. Thank you.
Thank you.